Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I want to talk about when the narcissist leaves you twisting in the wind. And to be more specific, when they bring you around others, such as their friends or family, or co-workers, and they let these people mistreat you, and do nothing to stop it. And when it's all done and over with, they act like nothing ever happened, which in my opinion is just another form of gaslighting. Or they make excuses for this person's behavior towards you. Or they might blame you for the outcome. The facts are, this is just another part of the narcissist do-do test. You meet this cool new person, and they say, "Hey, my family is having a cookout. You should come over. They are really laid-back people, and I think you will get along with them great." You get there, and now you are being given the third degree about one thing and another. You see, I mentioned in my last video how I went over to a young lady's home I had met, or her family's home rather, for just an informal cookout. But before you know it, I was being grilled about my faith and beliefs. "So James, do you go to church?" I used to go to church, but these days, I just read the Bible on my own and fellowship by talking to people I meet in my life that wish to talk about such topics. This person laughs and says something to the effect, "That's not a real relationship with God." I said, "Well, I'm sorry you feel that way. But I have a great relationship with God. Actually much better these days than I've ever had." And this person kept on and on. I just shrugged my shoulders and said, "I don't know what to tell you." Because I wasn't going to debate this person. And guess what? The entire time, the woman that invited me there sat there and did nothing. I ate, and tried to break free from being grilled. And when the timing was right, I let this woman know I would be leaving for the evening. And thanks for the invite. I did give her a look like, wow, that was the worst experience I had had in a long time. There was no apology. No nothing. Even the next day when I spoke to her, it was just a bunch of excuses. Such as, "Well James, you just have to understand. That's how they are. They don't mean any harm." So forth and so on. And my response was, just because that's how they are, doesn't mean I have to sit there and be treated that way. I didn't even ask her why she didn't defend me because it was pointless. You see, there is a difference between someone saying, "You know, my family is like this a lot, but I thought tonight was going to be different. I'm so sorry they did that to you. You did nothing wrong." I might have assumed she came from a narcissistically abusive home, and that she wasn't aware of the particular dynamics as of yet. But if made aware, she would more than likely do the self-work. But that's not the vibe I got at all. It was as if to say, "Why are you overreacting?" type of thing. They are just harmless people. So forth and so on. That's when I became too busy to hang out with her again. I just moved on. I didn't tell her, "Hey, I can't see you anymore because your family is nuts." I just drifted away. But I've seen this kind of thing before. You see, these types of people can sense when you don't have anyone in your corner. And they will do test you to see if you will take their sweet mean cycle. And part of that is disrespect. If they know they can disrespect you, or their friends or family can, that means you will take anything. You see, in our old ways, we were always looking for the good outcome that never came from our family of origin. And we know what it's like to have people give up on us. So we don't want to give up on others. So when we are treated this way by someone's family, or friends, or co-workers, we don't see it as a test. We see it as, maybe we just need to approach things different, or work around these people's stupid behavior. And the fact is, you, I and everyone else out there, Don't need to stand there and just take it. And even if you are wrong, and you walked away and stopped dealing with someone that for some reason had a good reason for doing what they did, the world won't stop all of a sudden just because you stopped dealing with this person. But in my experience, every time, and I do mean every time, I tried to see things their way, or tried to give this person or that person a chance, it always backfired on me. Every time. The fact is, it was a test then. And it's a test now. These types of people, if you can call them that, are always bumping and biting to see what their prey will do, so they can make sure you are not going to go anywhere. Look. People come from messed up homes. We know that. A great many of us did as well. And actually finding someone else out there that legitimately went through the same thing as you and is doing the self-work might make the best partner for you. And this is something I will be talking about more. Because the fact is someone like this can understand your life. Much more so than someone that has never gone through it. That being said, don't use this as a crutch or a reason to stay with someone bad. Because oftentimes, the first person that appears to understand us or put up with the fact we don't come from much, we stay with. Because we feel no one else wants us. Don't stay if it's wrong. Because if someone doesn't love you or care, and it was all make-believe in the beginning, it will only get worse as time goes on. And you will really see the demon you are with. And know if this has happened to you. More than likely this was being used as a test. And a way to abuse you. It's the do-do test by proxy. They let others do it. And they know. They know what these people are going to do to you before they even invited you. And if they misjudged things. Because that can happen. You would see an overly apologetic person letting you know. They will never put you in such a situation again. You should never have to be a guest and have others mistreat you. Without the protection of the person that invited you. It's so hard to get out of that frame of thinking. Finally I've found someone that likes me. I can't give them up. No matter how bad I'm being treated. That's just a toxic way to think. It's gotta be about self-love at this point. Trust me. If this new person is from a narcissistically abusive home, and they are a scapegoat, and they are truly sorry, they will make sure you never have to go to such a place again. And if you see they are truly sorry, send them a video about narcissistic parents and see what they say. If they start doing the self-work, not you doing it for them, but they start doing the self-work, and you aren't being put in harm's way anymore, you might have someone good on your hands. But if you are met with fake apologies and excuses, there's no need to send them something for self-help. Because it's a big waste of time. As I've mentioned before, these beings are predators much like serial killers. And they selected you because they thought you had no one. And no one would care or fight for you if you were abused. And while you are letting others disrespect you. Great. You are now a good candidate for a lifetime of abuse. And to that I say no thanks. I've been down that road before and I'm not doing it again. And nor should you. And nor should you. The crazy thing is people are doing these tests all the time now. And I don't say that as if to say there aren't good people in the world. But sadly that number is getting smaller and smaller. And it appears a good portion of these people out there have adopted this predatory mindset. And the ways of the narcissist. Because everything is about climbing the ladder of success and of life. And most people have figured out. It's easier when you screw people over. And you do that by finding people that are empathic, kind and helpful. And you take advantage of them. And leave them in the gutter when you're done. Well, not you. But the narcissist. You know what I mean. So the people out there have found ways to test others out to see if they are a punk or not. If they are a punk, they will punk them. If they aren't, They move on to someone they can punk. But what we've been taught by our family of origin is to stick it out. To keep on trying. Maybe our narcissistic parent or parents will come around and finally love us. That's all we know. Or that's all that we think we know. That's why we are here sharing our stories. So we can grow and better our lives. So when these tests and evil people show up in our lives, we can hopefully make the right life choices. It's crazy when you hear something someone said in their videos. Then you go and hang out with someone. And they do exactly to a T what was talked about in the videos. It's like wow. But usually when that happens we listen more. Everything slows down. We can hear every word said. And we know what is happening. And we almost become an observer in the entire thing. Observing this other person along with observing myself. And though it's disappointing to meet someone new that does this do test, it's actually a good thing. Because I find it gives me real-world practice in observing. Slowing things down. And not getting entangled in someone else's mess. Yes. I'm still open to meeting new people. But I'm careful. And there's nothing wrong with that. And when someone is disrespecting you, they know what they are doing. And when someone else is doing it to you, such as someone they know, the question is, do they have empathy and are they sorry for what is happening? And what are they doing to make sure it never happens again? Now, the other thing to keep in mind is this twisting in the wind feeling is something that is familiar to us. And something that has become a normal part of our life. If you can call it that. And sadly, what can happen when we are presented with a situation that we are used to, albeit a negative one? We might run towards the situation or person without realizing we are doing so. Because it's something that makes us feel home. In a strange and twisted way. This is why. When you are able to slow things down and see things for what is happening. And not second guess yourself. And not beat yourself up for feeling a certain way. And taking positive action for you and your life. You can look back at it as a win and a success. And when you are in good situations that are healthy. And you can look at it for what it is. And you can also see this as a success. These successes start to rewire your brain and what you know to be normal. You have to understand. You can read all kinds of information on this subject. But when you're in the middle of it, it's so easy to fall back on the bullcrap default programming your parent or parents gave you. Slow things down. Slow things down. Also become very tired of this stuff. I became so tired of this kind of behavior. I didn't argue with this person. When being grilled. After I said a few statements. I just kept shrugging my shoulders and saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. But I don't know what to tell you. I was polite. Ate my food. And made an exit. I didn't make a scene. I didn't get up and storm out. Because I know narcissists love that. I just held my cool. And was able to slow down what was happening. And have been so tired over the years defending myself to this person and that person. When I was sitting there, I honestly didn't care about what they were saying. I just observed. I also observed what the woman that invited me was and wasn't doing. And it all was registering in my mind. And I knew right then and there. There's a good chance I won't be dealing with this woman again. But I will talk to her about this afterwards and see what she says. And just like clockwork, the excuses came out. Again, I didn't argue. Because I didn't care to. It would have been pointless. And I made my choice to drift away. And am very happy with that choice. It's sad this person turned out to be this way. But it's better I found out now than later. And it let me know. This stuff works. Observing. Listening. Taking a step back. And self-love. Along with taking positive action. And rewiring my mind to see good things as normal instead of bad things. And running from the bad. and walking towards along with investigating what appears to be good. Being cautious but not afraid. Being cautious but not afraid. Well, that's all I have for now. I'm curious of your stories regarding this topic. Has this happened to you? And how did you handle it? Because though I did well in this instance, the growing process for me along with everyone else is always ongoing. We are always bettering ourselves. And this healing process is something we will be doing forever. In a positive way. Yes. But it's something we will be doing forever. With that said, let's keep praying for wisdom. Let's keep praying for strength. And let's keep praying for courage. And until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.